pyramid of biomass. This is the ecological pyramid that compares the dry mass of organisms at a particular time at each trophic level. But this is basically cruelty, because in order to get the dry mass of an organism, all the water must be removed. This basically involves killing the sweet little caterpillar and drying its carcass until no water is left. Repeat it with the rest of the population of the same species, and you will get the dry mass of the whole population. Repeat it with other trophic levels, and you will have no organisms left alive. So instead of killing and turning everyone into beef jerky, ecologists use extrapolation. This means they take a few unfortunate samples, dry and measure them, calculate the mean, and multiply it by the whole population of the species. A pyramid of biomass of a food chain of grass, rabbits, snakes, and eagles should look something like this. The producer is at the bottom, followed by the primary consumer, then the secondary consumer, and finally the tertiary consumer. The lower the trophic level, the larger the biomass should be. A pyramid of biomass of a peach tree. Aphids, which are tree-hugging buggers, ladybirds, and great tits, which is a bird, will look like this. The lower the trophic level, the larger the biomass should be. A pyramid of biomass of acacia, giraffes, lions, and lice, which are small little parasites, it will look like this. Basically, you can see that all pyramids look the same. They start from the producer with the most biomass, then up the trophic levels to the final consumer, which has the least biomass. Biomass of the lower trophic level will always be more than that of the higher trophic level, since a pyramid of biomass gives a more accurate representation of energy flow through a food chain than the next pyramid, which you will learn. So the wider base or larger biomass of the lower trophic level ensures there is sufficient food or energy to support the higher trophic levels, since on average only 10% of energy flows from one trophic level to the next. If an upper level is higher, it might lead to overfeeding of the trophic level below, leading to the collapse of a whole food chain. However, there is an exception to this which shows the limitation of the pyramid of biomass. This is because a pyramid of biomass is only a snapshot of the total dry mass of a species that is alive at the time when scientists are carrying out their survey. The biomass of a lower trophic level can become lower than that of a higher trophic level when organisms at the lower trophic level have a short lifespan and reproduce very rapidly. An example of this is phytoplankton, which are a group of single-celled organisms that are able to photosynthesize to produce their own food. They are eaten by krill, which are then eaten by small fish, which in turn are eaten by large fish. Phytoplankton reproduce very rapidly and are able to replenish their population quickly. But before long, they are in the stomachs of krill and the cycle continues. Therefore, when a study of biomass is carried out, the biomass of phytoplankton can appear to be lower than that of krill, even though they generate sufficient energy for the entire food chain. This is because they reproduce very rapidly, and many that are eaten go undocumented. Pyramid of number allows us to compare the number of organisms present in each trophic level. This is much easier because you just have to count. So no animals were harmed during the process of making this pyramid of number of grass, rabbits, snakes, and eagles. In this food chain, the pyramid is similar to the pyramid of biomass, but in other food chains, the shape of the pyramid might look different, since it does not take into account the size and mass of the organism. If we construct a pyramid of number of a peach tree, aphids, ladybirds, and great tits, it should look something like this. A peach tree being one is a smaller population compared to the aphids, but since it is so large, it can support the aphids population. After that, the number of organisms will decrease since the size of the predator becomes larger. Having the largest fourth trophic level is also possible if the final consumer is small. Lice are tiny parasites that sucks on lion's blood. Hence, They are numerous, and their trophic level is larger than the rest. While most of the time, you just need to sketch the ecological pyramid. Occasionally, you might need to draw them on a grid, which is typically a 3-mark question. For example, you might be told to draw a pyramid of number of snakes, bats, beetles, and banana plant. Height of the pyramid should be constant for all trophic levels, so the first difficult thing you need to do is to decide on the length that represents the number of organisms. Remember, your drawing should occupy at least 3/4 of the given grid. Once you have decided on the length, label it to get 1 mark. Then it is just an issue of drawing out the pyramid with the correct width to get the 2nd mark. Do not be afraid to use half a square. All the trophic levels should also more or less be aligned to the center. Finally, label each trophic level to get the last mark. Alternatively, you can be more organized. The standard scale and bars will have to be drawn, then label the axis on the left as the name of the organism and the axis on the right as the number of organisms. Finally, label each bar with the respective name of the organism and their number.